Imagine this scenario. A company wants to improve its efficiency and productivity. They have limited resources, as do any company in this world. So they need a way to identify and prioritize the key areas. Let's see how understanding the Pareto principle can help them achieve just this. Meet Ravi, the operations manager at this company. His team is looking to improve efficiency and reduce waste, but is not sure where to start. How can Ravi use the Pareto principle to identify the most impactful areas to focus on? The Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, states that roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. It does not have to be exact 80-20 each time, but this principle actually highlights the imbalance between inputs and outputs and helps identify the most significant factors that contribute to a particular outcome. The Pareto principle was named after Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who observed that in Italy, 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the population, while the remaining majority population owned very little. It has since been widely applied in various fields, from business to economics, to highlight the imbalance between cause and effects. The core components of the Pareto principle. Firstly, determine and enlist all the causes that could contribute to effects. Fishbone diagram is an important tool here. In our example, Ravi's team uses production logs, quality reports, and employee feedback to identify the most common issues. They identified a number of production issues in the process. Next, collect and analyze data to understand the distribution of causes and effect. Ravi's team creates Pareto chart to visualize the frequency and impact of different production issues identified in last step. Pareto chart is simply an histogram or a bar chart with values arranged in descending order, as you see the blue bars being arranged here. The total is added for each step, which you can see represented as the orange line here. We also draw a black line here at 80%, and wherever it crosses the orange line, it shows that those factors to the left of that point are responsible for 80% of all defects. Using Pareto chart, Ravi's team discovered that 80% of the defects were mainly in the labeling department. They also figured that recurring equipment malfunctions and training gaps contributed to the majority of the defects. So what next? Is prioritizing efforts, focusing on the most impactful causes to achieve the greatest improvements. Ravi's team obviously must prioritize addressing the top 20% of production issues that cause 80% of defects. They must focus on improving their equipment and on providing training to the workers using them. So they should brainstorm about these problems only. Final stage comes on implementing solutions. Developing and implementing solutions to address the most impactful causes. It follows the brainstorming and decision-making session. Ravi's team bought new equipment for labeling step. He implemented regular equipment maintenance schedules and enhanced training programs to reduce the defects. Understanding the Pareto principle is essential for identifying the most impactful areas to focus on and achieve significant improvement. Its implication and application goes way beyond the workplace, but rather in all walks of life. 80% of your sales come from 20% of your client. 80% of your profits come from 20% of your products or services. 80% of decisions in a meeting are made in 20% of the time. Also, you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. In its core, it is simply 20% input lead to 80% output. 20% causes lead to 80% of the effects. Your job is to identify which are those causes and those inputs that are contributing to that 80% effect. Once you identify that, you have learned to use one of the most powerful productivity principles in existence. The question is, where would you use this principle next? Please comment below. I'd love to hear it from you all.
Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video, and if yes, then please like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you again next time with some more MBA concepts in action. Until then, goodbye.